In a way, I'm kind of glad my grandpa's dead because he used to enjoy watching the news. And what he'd see in the news now, the devolution of our species to these levels, it would kill him. You know, this is a lesson in critical thinking. Uh, you're not gonna like this. Do you consider yourself a vlogger, YouTuber, blogger, whatever, that is an expert in critical thinking? And are you somebody that's subscribed to it and watches the videos or whatever and think that, oh, you are such a critical thinker yourself? This story kind of reminds me, I was in Campbell River playing badminton. There was this woman who worked in the school district there, and she taught a class on critical thinking. Oh, I said, this is one of my specialties. I would love to go as a guest speaker in your class for free. And one thing we can do, for example, is a role play in a conversation. Like, let's say on the topic of Sasquatch. And we would role model, like, one is a critical thinker, the other isn't, and then take turns and explain this. I would need no preparation to do this. Never heard from her again. She got free badminton coaching though. But again, if it threatens an image where a salary is received, then a concept as important as critical thinking can be put on the back burner. So I'm watching one, I think it's called Free Will, and I kind of criticized them a little bit. They posted something that Noam Chomsky said, and I just criticized him on the use of language in one way. And he does talk in a very complex way for most people, but this way was a normalized way that most people would say, and I wanted to correct him to show that language is important in his way. Otherwise, we'll never change paradigms to realize our critical thinking experts are not really critical thinking experts. And I'm not talking about Noam Chomsky specifically. He's way above the norm. But for example, channels where, like, one of the reasons I don't get noticed, and I don't know what, I'm probably, I don't know if it's in the 70s or 90s, this series on critical thinking right now. And most of my videos are being taken down, that by the end of the year, there'll be one or two YouTube videos left, and they'll say a specific thing. Okay, and I've been planning this for a long time as a real socio-cyberneticist / global culture repair. Okay, I'm fighting a losing battle, but I still have strategies, to lose with dignity in case I'm wrong. you know, and so these channels, they're still trying to sell stuff, like, let's say, T-shirts of Noam Chomsky, and I don't know if it's under his name or what, and there'll be ads popping up often and things like that. So I'm not being noticed. My message is of critical thinking because I'm a minimalist who can't afford fancy surroundings, fancy sound equipment, fancy back scenes, although I try to put nature as much as possible. And I don't allow ads. And what I have to say is not very complex language, although there are words that sometimes I'm the only one using, and anybody can ask what I mean by that, but they don't. So instead of asking, they'll just orient to where, it's pleasing more to the senses, the appearance. It's normalized that ads pop up. It's normalized that there's capitalism, and critical thinkers do this. And they might even have a vlog where they criticize capitalism as capitalists that are trying to pass off as critical thinkers. So they don't understand the concept of congruence. And this again goes back to one of my past vlogs. I mean, if you want to know if a person is really a critical thinker, is they will walk the talk. Otherwise, they're a charlatan. They're a flim-flam man. They only do rhetoric to try to convince you they're critical thinkers, but they are riding a wave of capitalism, and selling an image that they're an expert in something while they couldn't act in that way to save their own or their own kids' lives.